everyone, my name is Haley Prater, and welcome to my very first video on my channel called Glowing Gluten Free. So first off, the reason I chose the name Glowing Gluten Free is because I have had celiac disease for about 9 years, and I was diagnosed as a 15-year-old at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital in Nashville. I have some knowledge about the topic of celiac disease and eating gluten-free and wanting to live a healthy gluten-free life. And so I wanted to share that with you all and hopefully try to help in any way that I can, even if you have just a simple question or if you just want to watch my videos to maybe learn a little bit more about what celiac disease really is. The second reason I chose the name Glowing Gluten Free is because I love everything sparkly, so everything that is glittery, shiny, pretty, it just makes me really happy. So glowing gluten-free really seems to fit me pretty well. So what is celiac disease is going to be our first topic. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disorder that causes damage to the small intestine, causing painful digestive distress. Gluten is naturally found in wheat, barley, spelt, rye. It's a protein found in those items, and celiac disease is where your body just can't break down that protein. So it's different than having a total wheat allergy. It's where your body just can't break down the actual protein in the grain. So that's why you'll hear in restaurants people who have celiac disease ordering items without bread products, no croutons on your salad, no bun for your burger. So what does eating gluten do to a person with celiac disease? I can tell you it's not fun. It varies from person to person as to what your side effects are. For me, honestly, I haven't eaten gluten since I was 15 years old, but I know when I eat something that my body doesn't like, whether it's a sensitivity or it happens to be an allergen, my throat gets tight, I go into anaphylaxis, I have to use my EpiPen, I have to take Benadryl. It's not that way for everyone. So eating gluten for a celiac usually causes a lot of abdominal pain, a lot of abdominal distress, fatigue, just like a lot of cramping and bloating, stuff that nobody wants. Signs that you may have celiac disease are having a lot of abdominal distress after eating gluten. Like I said before, bloating, gas, but you can also have more of a chance of developing lactose intolerance. Other things that can happen or that you may notice if you happen to be gluten intolerant is that your skin can be very, very rashy, malnutrition, you can have aching joints, a lot of tiredness. When I was growing up, my skin just used to be a disaster. It was bumpy, it was red, it was rashy. It felt like dragon scales instead of real touchable, smooth skin. Since I've gone gluten-free and have taken other allergens out of my diet, my skin has greatly improved. It's a lot smoother, it's a lot softer, it's a lot more resilient, and I'll go through my skincare routine later on in an upcoming video. But back to celiac disease, think of how often you eat pizza, bread, cereal, pancakes, waffles, cinnamon rolls, all those things that we love. Celiacs just can't eat it. It's just a no-go. There are 3 different types of people that come to mind when I think of celiac disease. So people like myself with a true gluten allergy, and that, like I said, you just can't have any gluten. It's not an option. There's not a safe amount that you can eat. And so the second group of people are the people who have more of a gluten sensitivity. So that's someone who doesn't have a true gluten allergy, but they're just a little bit sensitive to it. So those are the people you'll hear that kind of cheated on their diet and are paying for it later. They're not happy that they had that slice of pizza with their friends when they could have had a gluten-free option. So those are the kind of people that you'll hear of that have a sensitivity. It's not a life-threatening thing for them usually. Their throat doesn't start to get tight or their airway is restricted in any way, like a celiac. So the third type of people are more of the gluten-free lifestyle eaters. More of the gluten-free dieters who choose to eat gluten-free as a lifestyle choice. Those are people who have eliminated gluten out of their diets just because they feel better. They've noticed they have more energy, their minds are less foggy, they're just clearer thinking. They just notice that they feel better when gluten is not in their diet. They've helped expand the marketplace. They've helped expand the draw for companies to make gluten-free options for us. Because when I started out at 15 years old, my mom and I would go through the grocery store and there was almost nothing that was specifically labeled gluten-free. You had to go through every single item in that ingredients list to see if it was gluten-free, if it was safe. Sometimes you'd think it was, and it still wasn't. And I still read every label to this day, and you should too if you're trying to avoid gluten. It just has expanded our market so much, and there's so many more gluten-free options out there now. So another fact about celiac disease or gluten intolerance is that if you have anything bigger than just a gluten sensitivity, you want to make sure that all of your cooking utensils, pans, cutting boards, your oven, your microwave, everything is gluten-free and that it's safe. What I mean by that is that it hasn't been, that cutting board hasn't had a loaf of regular bread cut up on it. Obviously a pan isn't going to have gluten naturally in it, but you haven't cooked a glutinous pancake on that pan because gluten can still linger on those surfaces and it can contaminate your gluten-free foods. So you may notice I'm still feeling sick. Get rid of those items and make sure that you're using surfaces that are gluten-free. So earlier I mentioned lots of different foods that contain gluten, but there are more foods out there in the market that have gluten hidden in them that you would just never expect for them to have gluten. Things like ranch dressing, things like gravy packets, like the instant ones, where you open the little pack and pour it in, and then also things like alcohol, beer, yeah, gluten, plus it stinks. But there are lots of things that gluten is hidden in, even things like makeup. So that's all I have for today. Thank you all so much for joining me for my very first video on my channel. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe, hit the like button, and also you can be notified of every time I upload a new video if you hit the bell and then you click down to all, so you'll be notified every time I upload a brand new video. I'm going to have videos on lots of different topics, not just celiac disease, not just me sitting here talking to you about what celiac disease is, talking about gluten and all that stuff. Some of it will be about that, but I'll have more fun videos coming up too. Tell me what you'd like to see in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.